If you're a parent of a child with autism, you've likely heard it all before. It's genetic, there's nothing you can do. Keep doing therapies and hope for the best. You've probably tried everything from traditional therapies to natural approaches, yet your child is still struggling. But what if I told you that the root cause of autism doesn't begin in the brain, but instead starts in the body and ends up in the brain? What if the missing piece has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, locked within your child's nervous system? The truth is, autism rates have skyrocketed to 1 in 36 children, and even higher for boys, and the standard approaches simply aren't providing the answers that families need. What's more is so often the non-traditional biomedical approaches don't always work either. In today's world, the majority of autism families we meet and talk with not only have exhausted all the traditional therapies and conventional medical approaches to autism, but they've also tried nearly every diet change, detox, vitamin, supplement regimen, hyperbaric oxygen or ozone therapy treatment, neurofeedback, primitive reflex work, and so much more. The most common pattern that we see in practice today, that while of course switching to a healthier anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle helps make some serious changes and cools the fire a little bit, the majority of children are still struggling with autism in a major way because the majority of kids with autism have even deeper layers of dysfunction that go even beyond the gut-brain connection, the microbiome, and inflammation. For most kids struggling with autism, the real foundational root cause of their symptoms is actually hidden in plain sight: nervous system stress, dysfunction, dysregulation, and imbalance, also known as dysautonomia. In this video, we're going to go through the breakthrough understanding of autism that we have developed all the way back in 2008 and has led to an incredible amount of healing for literally tens of thousands of families over the last 15 plus years, who have not only found this information, but gained access to this transformative nervous system focused care approach and a very unique specialized form of chiropractic care. Buckle up for this one, parents. We're going to dive deep into the real root causes of autism and share some foundational strategies for healing and recovery not taught or discussed anywhere else. Let me tell you about Joseph. Like many children with autism, he struggled with anxiety, sensory processing issues, poor muscle tone, and digestive problems. His mother shares that it was frustrating and saddening to watch Joseph work so hard for years and never achieve the benefits of his hard work. We tried literally everything from numerous specialists testing diet changes and detoxes and a multitude of therapies like PT, OT, speech, and ABA. The end result was always a tired, sick little boy who couldn't seem to make any progress. And in fact, most often the harder we pushed, the more that he would regress and go backwards. But everything changed when they discovered neurologically focused chiropractic care. After just 2 adjustments, his mother noticed significant improvements. As care progressed, he slept better, he ate better, digested his food far better, and started to have more energy, improved motor tone and coordination, and far more self-confidence and social engagement. He was able to better regulate his emotions and just stay relaxed, happy, and ready for life once again. Today, Joseph is a totally different child than he was before chiropractic care. Yes, he still has his sensory quirks and various things that make him awesomely who he is, but he's often off all medication and absolutely thriving in life like never before. So let's start with how traditional medicine and others view autism. Traditional medicine views autism as a primarily genetic and only lately has started to admit that environmental influences are at play. But genetics alone don't explain the dramatic rise in rates, and they don't ever actually go into what the environmental influences may be. They just broadly state them. Environmental factors and early life events play a much bigger role than previously thought, and parents deserve to know about them in detail. Autism affects the whole body, not just the brain, including motor planning, immune function, gut health, and sensory processing. Next, let's talk about what we refer to as the perfect storm concept and how it relates to autism. Early life stressors create a cascade of effects that can trigger autism development due to alterations in neurodevelopment and by causing nervous system dysfunction, dysregulation, and dysautonomia. The three main environmental factors are at play. First is fertility challenges and high stress pregnancies. Flood developing babies with stress responses and stress hormones affecting nervous system development. The second thing is that birth interventions like C-sections, inductions, forceps, and vacuum extraction can cause physical trauma to the delicate upper neck and brainstem area. And then third, early life exposure to these environmental toxins and medications further stresses the developing nervous system with the early misuse of antibiotics, and that is a very big deal. The perfect storm then leads to a cascade of neurological problems known as subluxation, sympathetic dominance, dysautonomia, and nervous system dysregulation. Physical trauma, especially during birth, can create subluxation, a complex neurological dysfunction. Subluxation most commonly occurs within the cervical spine or neck region of the neurospinal system, but also commonly occurs in other areas that negatively affect the gut-brain connections, vagus nerve function, and so much more. Perhaps the most essential brain-body connection and function disrupted by subluxation is sensory processing and what's known as sensory motor dysfunction, which immediately throws a child off track with their motor skills, motor milestones, and overall brain development. Once subluxation dysfunction kicks in, now the body goes into a state of sustained or stuck sympathetic dominance, which then shuts down gut function, leaves the body in a pro-inflammatory state, and causes many more problems on top of that. This is referred to as dysautonomia and nervous system dysregulation. Now let's explore the gut-brain connection and the vagus nerve dysfunction components. The vagus nerve connects the brain and the gut, influencing not just rest and digest functions, but we also now know that it's essential to regulating things like socialization, behavioral and emotional regulation, speech and communication, cognition, and so much more. Vagus nerve dysfunction can also lead to digestive issues, negatively affecting the gut microbiome by altering digestive motility, absorption, and elimination functions. A disrupted gut-brain axis can create a cycle of inflammation and further neurological challenges. But there's still more to autism than just the gut-brain connection. Here is what we call our foundational hierarchy of the nervous system. And what I really want to make apparent here for you today, as we've gone through this a couple of other times just talking about different things, is that base layer, that foundation that you see there on the pyramid is your autonomic central nervous system. This is what gets developed with the perfect storm during maternal pregnancy distress, birth traumas, the toxins, the chemicals. This is all forming during that. And where the neurofocused chiropractic care comes in. If this foundational element of your nervous system and body isn't working well, then the rest of this pyramid doesn't get built. So when we talk about the neuromotor system, as far as PT, OT speech, if that nervous system base is not there, PT, OT speech is going to take forever and you're not going to get very far. Then the gut and the immune system come in. So if you're looking at functional medicine, getting detoxes in and homeopathy, great stuff if you have the nervous system working for you. Again, that base layer needs to be in place in order for everything on top of it to work. And not just the motor system and the gut and the immune system, but if we really want that cognitive piece to come in, that's where we really have to have everything else set in play before we can get to those big changes. The most effective autism healing plan must begin where the sequence of the perfect storm and getting sick first began. The nervous system dysfunction must be the foundation. Parents, we know that it already feels like you've tried literally everything to help your child with autism heal and recover. But we also know that up until finding this video and information about the perfect storm and nervous system dysfunction, you probably always knew deep down in your gut that something more foundational was still missing. That's why we hope and pray that this video filled you with exactly that, hope. Hope is truly where healing begins, and for kids and families like Joseph and thousands of others, we've been able to help with this unique and specialized clinical approach. We love being able to refuel that hope and provide some answers and explanations that you've long been searching for. But the truth is, information doesn't lead to the actual healing. Taking action does. The first most important step that you can take from here is to schedule your child's consultation and insight scans with us at Generations Chiropractic. This will allow you to truly find out if subluxation and nervous system dysregulation is the missing foundational piece that has held your child back from experiencing more optimal healing and recovery this whole time. We dive deeper into the case history and into the real root causes than any other kind of doctor out there. And doing so helps us not only uncover the root cause of your child's struggles, but can also create a personalized path forward. We know it can be so overwhelming knowing that what to do with your child that has autism. With seemingly a million choices out there in Facebook groups and Google searches, let us help not only address their nervous system dysregulation challenges head on, but we'll also use our experience in this world to help navigate all of the other options and considerations as well, helping end that overwhelm and confusion that you've been battling as an autism parent for so long. You can visit the link in our bio on Instagram or comment below to learn more about how we can help your child thrive like never before.